So, you want to make some flowery boots? Well, you have come to the right place. We've got six-sided flowers, we've got three-sided flowers, we've got four-sided flowers, and flowers without middles. You name it, we got it, so come on down. Alright, I got that on my system now. Today I'm going to show you the four different shapes of flowers that I created for my boots. For this project, it is a project, and if you love puzzles, then you're really going to enjoy it. And if you hate puzzles, I apologize in advance. This may get a little frustrating. Anyways, for this project, I use a 3.5 millimeter hook because, come on, the smaller the flowers, the more you can make. Isn't that just wonderful? But of course, you can change your hook size. It doesn't matter. However big you want your flowers, that is all up to you. Again, with the 3.5 millimeter hook, I think it helps when it's like, okay, I only have so much room to go around the boot, so how can I fit these the way I need them to? What else? So I'm going to show you the different flower shapes. I'm going to show you how to attach, say, the petals to each other so you can stitch them together to make your cover. And then, like, any tips or tricks that I might have to make this easier on you. So if you like, we're going to get started, and we're going to start with the main six-sided flower because that is the one that I use the most. And then from there, once you have this idea down, it's really easy to be like, okay, I need a flower with three sides, so I just need to do it 3 times. Or I need a flower with 4 sides, I just need to do it 4 times. So it's really easy. And then these ones are nice little filler flowers for, like, I tried to do the 3-sided with the middle, but it was popping out over the boot. So that's why I came up with these little ones that don't have middles, because it just kind of filled those nooks and crannies. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, let's begin. So this project is great if you're like me and you've just got a bajillion scrap balls of yarn waiting to be used up because you have to use every single inch you have. And if you're really good at playing yarn chicken, this is real fun too, I guess. I like playing yarn chicken a lot, apparently. Do I win all the time? No, but we're not going to go there. So anyways, I'm going to try to use this color. Hopefully it'll be really good to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4 and create slip stitch it to our first chain we made, or the 4th chain from our hook, to create a ring. So pretty easy start. And just like this, we're going to create our little ring. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into that ring a total of 6 times. So the chain 1 doesn't count as a single crochet or a stitch. It's just a filler for me. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now to try to make it, I hate awkward slip stitches. So that first single crochet you made, I'm going to skip over it. And I'm going to slip stitch into the second one made. And it kind of might round your flower center a little bit, but it shouldn't be horrible. And once you start making the petals, they'll be fine. I think it's just easier because now you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you don't have an awkward little slip stitch you have to worry about, or like me, would end up creating a 7th petal because I don't bother counting while I'm doing it. I just go, 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 go. So anyways, once you do that little invisible stitch, you're going to go ahead and fasten off. So that was the easy part. And now this next part, if you're familiar with treble stitches and like treble clusters, this should be really easy to follow along, but I am going to walk you through it. just so we are all on the same page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my next color, and you can attach it to any single crochet stitch. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go exactly where you fastened off or anything. So I'm going to attach it into one of the stitches. And what we're going to do now to create our petals is we're going to chain 3. And from here, we're going to start doing a total of 5 treble stitches, but you're not going to finish them off. So we're going to yarn over twice like that. So you should have 3 on your hook. You're going to insert it into that same stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. So now you should have 4. And then you're going to yarn over, draw through 2 loops, yarn over again, draw through 2 loops, and that creates your first stem of your cluster petal. And now we're going to repeat this stem 4 more times. So I'll show you. We're going to do it again. You're going to end up having 5, draw through 2, draw through 2, and then we're going to repeat this again 3 more times. So I'm going to go ahead. Sorry if you hear my baby cooing in the background. She decided she was not sleeping in today. So once you have 5, you're gonna have, you'll see there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 loops on your hook. And from here, you're gonna yarn over like that and draw through all 6 of those loops. So now we've created our petal, but now we got to make it puffy. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 3 like we did with the front of the petal or start of the petal, and you're going to slip stitch it into that same stitch. So when you do it, it's going to curl in like this, and if you're like me with nubby fingers, it might be a little challenging, but we're gonna just poke those out the opposite way so they makes a puff, nice and squishy. And then from here, we're gonna slip stitch into our next stitch, our next single crochet. And again, we're gonna chain 3 and we're gonna create our next petal. So we're gonna yarn over twice, insert it, and repeat that for a total of 5 times. So we can really get an exaggerated puffy flower. And then again, when you've got all your stems for your petal, you should have 6 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and draw through all 6 of them. And then you're going to chain 3 and again slip stitch it into that same same stitch. And if you want, you could wait till you're done with all your flowers to puff them out. You can do it as you go. Obviously, that is totally a personal preference. And you're just going to continue this to create your other 4 flowers. And when you're finished, you're just going to fasten off when you do the chain 3 and slip stitch it back down. So I'm going to pause so you don't have to watch me finagle this. And then I'll come back with the finished flower, show you that slip stitch, and we will continue. All right, so just to show you that last one, when you got your last chain 3 to go down in your petal, again, you're just gonna put it into that same stitch, and then you're just gonna fasten off. So just in case you weren't sure, I thought I'd just do that real quick. And as a helpful little tip, I would say to make at least one of each of the shapes that we're doing here today. So that way you can kind of place, like, for example, you can take them and like place them on your boot and be like, okay, it fits here, it fits here, it fits here, and kind of play around with the puzzle ideas. And as you can see here, I use a 3.5, but my other flowers are bigger, so I might have used the 4. I am very bad at writing down my hooks. I just do it and then forget. But anyways, like I said, it doesn't matter. You can make your flowers how big or how small you want. So just like our 6-sided flowers we just created, your 4-sided and 3-sided flowers are going to be basically the same thing. The only difference is when you do your ring, you'll just do 4 3 single crochets into it. So say I did 4, make a ring, la la la, and then we'll do a 4-sided flower first, I guess. So I did 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for these flowers, you don't need to slip stitch it to your first one because it's just gonna awkwardly make your flower center want to collapse in on itself, I guess, per se. So you can go ahead and just fasten off because it's kind of like we're making a half flower. And then from here, you can choose to be the person where you attach your yarn where you fasten off and flip it over and work your way around, or you can work from where you first started off. I'm gonna do the first way just because I think it's easier for a lot of people. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna try to do this green yarn. So just like our 6-sided flowers, it's the same concept. Like I said, so we're gonna join. You can go ahead and do 3. And then we're gonna yarn over twice to create, and we're gonna do our 5 treble cluster stems. So again, yarn over twice, insert it into the stitch, draw up a loop. Don't be like me and do whatever that was. Yarn over, draw through 2 loops, yarn over again, draw through 2 loops, and you're gonna make sure you do that for a total of 5 stems. So I got 2 stems here, and we're gonna make sure that it ends up being 5. So 4, and then we got 5. And then once you got all 6 loops on your hook, you're gonna yarn over and draw through all 6 of them, just like our 6-sided flower. And then you're gonna chain 3, and just like our other puffy flower, you're gonna slip stitch it into that same stitch. And then you're just gonna continue this. So like I said, once you have the idea of how the 6-sided flower is, to create other shaped flowers, like one with 3 sides, one with 4 sides, I don't know if you might need one with 5 sides. It really all depends on your style of shoe you're doing this to and how your puzzle planning skills play out. But it's really easy to figure it out. I mean, at least like the whole, okay, I need 3 petals, so this is how I'm just gonna do 3 puffy stitch petals, if that makes sense. I feel like I might be talking too much. So here we go with our 4-sided flower. Like I said, kind of gives you an edge, and I only used on my boots a 4-sided flower a couple times when it came to the heel. If you don't have heels, you might not need it, but if you're using scrap yarn, it doesn't hurt to just make one of each of the shapes so you can see all the potential options you have when playing around with your boots and applying them, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll show you the other 2. If you got this down, the 3-sided flower with the middle will be real easy. I'm gonna try to pick out some colors because I'm trying to keep this so I can use them for my next project. So again, Like your four-sided flower, we'll create a ring, but when you do your single crochets into the ring, you're not going to slip stitch them together because you're going to be creating like a half flower. So again, you're going to chain 4, create your ring, and then you're going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a single crochet, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to single crochet 3 times into the ring because you're creating 3 petals. Easy peasy. And you can go ahead and you can fasten that off. And then, like our other flowers, we're going to take our second color. You're going to attach it. Go ahead and attach it where you fasten off, because I feel like this is just going to be a lot easier to understand instead of being like, you can do it either or. I don't want to confuse you because this is already going to be confusing enough. This is a project, and we may laugh, we may cry, and we may cry some more, but hopefully it will all be in good fun. So you're going to attach it to where you fastened off. You're going to chain 3, and then you're going to turn your work so the back side is facing you. And then in that same stitch, we're going to go ahead and do our petals. So yarn over twice, insert, draw up a loop. You'll have 4. Yarn over, draw through 2. Yarn over, draw through 2. That creates our first stem. And now we got to create 4 more of these. So again, continue into that same stitch to create 4 more stems. And then here. So you're going to have a total of 6 loops on your hook. You got 5 treble unfinished stems because it's a cluster with your chain 3. And then yarn over and draw through all 6 of those. And then you're going to chain 3 and slip stitch it down into the same space, single crochet. And again, don't worry if they start curling in. You can always pop them back out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then again, slip stitch, and we'll create 2 more petals. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this so you can work on that. My baby's starting to wake up. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the last type of flower, which is really easy. All you do, I'll just give you a run through, is do the chain 4, and then you're going to create your petals into that chain 4 instead of doing a single crochet middle. But again, I'm going to go over with you. Let's just finish this first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So here I have the finished 3-sided, which these ones, I'll show you, were very useful when doing this bottom edge, because I had like a main one, and then these ones just fit perfectly on doing those sides. Of course, I'm going to be doing more videos, and we'll walk through it together with the new knee highs I got. But we're gonna, so far you should have 3 different style shapes, and like I said, it's good to have all these different shapes just to have them, even if they're not connected, so you can play around on your boots and kind of get an idea of what fits best where. So that's how we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna show you this last flower shape, which is just 3 sides, no middle. And then after that, I'll show you how to connect, say, 2 6-sided flowers. So if I was just joining 2 sides, I'll show you how to attach them as you go. So you're joining as you go once you kind of figured out your placements. So, sorry, apparently my scrap yarn is so scrappy, I just have loose strings wrapped around other loose strings. Oh, get it together. So again, like with all our other ones, you're going to go ahead and chain 4, and you're going to create a ring. So we're going to chain 4, and you're going to slip stitch it to that first chain you made, or the 4th chain from your hook. And now, since we're doing it without a middle, we're going to just go straight into making our petals. So we're going to chain 3, And now we're gonna start on our first petal. So again, like your other ones, you're gonna yarn over, insert it into that ring because we don't have a middle to work with. And then you're gonna yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2 to create your first stem. And you're gonna repeat this 4 times. So just to walk you through it. And you might notice that these get a little tighter. If you're brave enough to use magic circles for this, you're welcome to. I personally don't, but that's just me. And this will get tricky. Your petals will want to collapse on each other. I apologize in advance. So now we've got 1 into our magic ring, and you're gonna chain 3 and slip stitch it into that ring so that it really puffs out that flower. And since we don't have a middle to work with, you won't be slip stitching into any other single crochet. You're just gonna start again with another petal, and you're gonna chain 3, and again you're just gonna create another petal. And make sure your petals have 5 unfinished treble stitches, so like you're making a treble cluster. And then also don't forget to do that ending chain 3 after you've closed your petal, because that's really what's going to make it puff out. And it might puff out the other wrong direction at first, but don't worry, easy fix. And then again, you're going to create 1 more. So these little guys are really good for filling in any small nooks and crannies, as to where the bigger ones just don't and look awkward. Where was I gonna go with this? So it's really helpful to have at least 1 of each of these shapes, because you don't want to jump into it and like make a bunch and then you've made too many, or they don't fit the way you want because you have to mix and match the shapes, I guess. Again, if you're just really good with crafts and stuff, this should be really easy. But if you're someone that is a strict pattern person, this may be a little bit more difficult, because it is, you're basically free forming it to your style shoe, whether it's a boot, whether it's sneakers, slippers, Crocs, I don't know, you name it. Probably not sandals, with reed, obviously. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and fasten off. So now you officially have all 4 of your shapes. And then lastly, I'm gonna make another 6-sided just to show you how I connect them as I go. And just give you a little idea, that main stitch where you closed, I don't know if you can see this well, it's like the top of your petal. That is where we're going to be working it with when we attach them to stitch them together. But I'm going to walk you through it. So go ahead, start another 6-sided, but make sure to leave 2 unfinished, because those are the 2 we're going to connect to an already made flower, if that makes sense. All right. So we'll jump back in once you have 4 out of your 6-sided flower, and I'll walk you through stitching it together. It's really easy once you got it. I mean, if you've been doing the puff blankets and stuff like that, I assume it's the same thing. I didn't follow that pattern. I kind of just made it up as I went. But okay. Okay, so now we're back, and you see I've got 4 out of my 6 sides of my flower. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how we connect 2 sides to each other. So go ahead and we're gonna start our 5th petal. So you're gonna do your chain 3, you're gonna create your 5 stems. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now before you yarn over and draw through all 6 of your loops that are on your hook, this is where we're going to attach it to our other one. So you're going to take your other flower, and I'm going to try to show you. I know the yarn is kind of dark, but if you look at the top, so the top part of your petal where it's connected and not the chain 3 side going down, you're going to have it so the backs of your, oh no, I'm stuck, flowers are facing each other. So you got pretty side, like a nice little pretty sandwich. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to insert your hook into the top of that petal. I'm hoping this is staying focused, just like that. And then you'll continue and you'll yarn over, which I did that awkwardly, so let's try again. And you're going to draw a loop, and now you're going to draw not only through these 6 loops, but you're going to draw it through that other flower's top petal. So then you just go like that to draw through all of them, and then we'll continue and do a chain 3, and you'll go ahead and you'll slip stitch it into the bottom of that stitch. So it's gonna, of course, do that backwards puffy thing. You're gonna have to puff your flowers out. If you guys have any sort of idea how to make that easier for somebody with big fingers like me, great. So that's how it's gonna look. And then if I pull it, you can really see how it's connected. And so that's how you join your petals together. It's really easy. And then again, I'm going to do it just with this last one. And that's going to be the end of the first part of, I guess, this boot series. So this is for anybody who is really excited, really do it yourself. You like a challenge, you want to puzzle yourself, and you want to get going on this right away. Here's the basics of what I used to start my project, and then I'll continue, I guess, this series walking you through like what I do with my next pair of shoes, which are a pair of knee highs, and that is going to be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I almost didn't take my own advice. I'm too busy talking. I have regrets. So again, before you finish off like I almost did, make sure that you insert it into the adjoining top of your next flower petal. So for me, it would be like that. And you see there's 2 top loops there. And then there's that chain 3 that goes down. So you put it in those 2 top loops that are right after your starting chain 3. And then you yarn over, draw through that, and draw through the remaining 6 loops on your hook. And my yarn's getting funky. No. So again, you're connected, and then do that last chain 3 and slip stitch it into your same flower petal space, and then you can go ahead and fasten off. So this is the basics, and again, joining your flower petals, all of them be like that. And when you do, say, connecting a third, you'll do, say, I'll use this for example. You'll put 1 petal joined here. Your middle petal will actually join like where your 2 petals are connected. You can just join it right there. And then your ending petal will join in the other top. So that way it kind of meshes it together to create a flowery collage. But that's all I got for now. So stay tuned as we continue trying to create our own colorful flowery boots. Thanks again for joining along.